Greetings, everybody. How's it going, guys? Hope you're doing fine. Who's ready for a goofy build? I know I am. So that's why I'm bringing to you the Magicka Sorc. This one was extremely fun to play. I've been wanting to do this build for quite some time. Never really got to it, and now I finally did it, and I'm not regretting anything. This is an awesome build. I love this build. I love the playstyle. Feels really good. When the server works, when the server lets you cast the things that you need to cast, it feels amazing. So let's get right into it. As you can see, we're under 30k Magicka, which is, kind of weird for a Magicka Sorc, but we don't really need the Magicka. This is not a max Magicka build. So yeah. I will get into why we have so little Magicka. You will see, and with the gear setup, why the health is so low. The Magicka is so low. So if we look at the health, 25k. That's actually pretty decent for a light armor build. So yeah, nothing to complain about. 14k stamina, also not too shabby. 2k Magicka recovery on the dot. That's a lot of Magicka recovery, and we actually need the Magicka recovery on the build. Because we have a couple pretty expensive skills, so we got to make sure we have enough sustain to actually pull this off. The health recovery, not important. I'm a vampire. Next patch, you're gonna see 0 health recovery on that build, and stamina recovery 600, not too shabby either. Like nothing crazy, but it's okay. Spell damage wise, if we buff up here, we get up to almost 3.2k. With the back bar enchant and the continuous attack buff, you get up to like 4k ish. So that's a decent amount of spell damage. The spell crit, not too terribly high on this build, but not that important. This build is not really focused on high stats. It works well with the stats that it has, and you'll see why that is. If we buff up the armor, you can see 17.8 spell and 16k physical resistance. Pretty normal for a light armor build, right? The penetration, roughly 10k, also not too shabby. If we look at the buffs here, of course, vampire. I would, recommend being a vampire, but, like I said, you don't have to if you don't want to, especially next patch. You really have to make some decisions if you really want to be a vampire. I'm gonna be a vampire because I love vampires. If you don't feel like this is the thing for you, you can drop that. We're running the HO because, extra recovery. I would recommend having the extra recovery because, like I said, we have some expensive skills here on this build. And yeah, you kind of want enough sustain to be able to actually stay offensive and stay aggressive. We're using the Witch Mother for, of course, the health, the Magicka, and the regen. It's just such a complete kit having the Witch Mothers on, so that's pretty good. Let's move on to the sets. We are running Marauder's Haste. This is a good sustained set. It gives you double Magicka recovery and 1 Magicka bonus. It's really nice, but the 5-piece is really where it's at. When you cast a damage shield, you gain 19% or 20% if it's golded out for 9 seconds. So that really gives you a lot of speed on a bit. Just this set alone gives you a lot of speed, So that's really nice. The next set that we're using is Torok's Pact. This is it's a good spell damage set. You get a lot of spell damage out of it by running an infused enchant on the Torok's Pact. As you can see, it's like almost 600 spell damage that you can get just for light attacking or heavy attacking someone. So that's really nice. Outside of that, you get the max health, you get some armor, get some spell damage on the 2-piece. So I love Torok's Pact. It's an awesome set. I'm using it on many builds. So yeah, for this build, it's pretty important actually having this set on this build, and I will explain to you why that is in a second. As you can see, we're also running the Swift here, so just stacking more speed on the build, which is important. I need to be fast on this one. So with the Marauder's Haste and the Swift Jewelry, that's a lot of speed that you can get out of it. So, and the monster set we're running is Slimecraw, of course. Yeah, just like my favorite kind of monster set, just pure damage. I love it. You can't go wrong with that. If you want to play a similar build like this on a class that has the Berserk, like the Warden, you would put a different set on, But I'll leave that up to you. On this one, we definitely need the Berserk, so yeah, that's why it's on. Like I always say on the big pieces, infused with tri-stat enchants just to, even out the stats a little bit. The smaller ones, Impen with Magicka enchants. The jewelry is, Swift, like I said, with spell damage enchants. We got an infused restoration staff on the back bar with a weapon damage enchant. And, of course, on the front bar, the big reason, we got an infused greatsword with a shock damage enchant. And as you can see, the shock damage enchant, the value really, really high, almost 7k. That's something that, adds a lot of damage for this build. Of course, shock damage gives us the chance to proc minor vulnerability on our target. So because we have a lot of different shock skills plus the shock enchant, we should have not really any issues putting the debuff on our targets, and that gives us 8% extra damage. So can't fail. You could potentially put something else on here, whatever you desire, but I think the shock damage one is good because it hits the hardest of all the elemental enchants on the Sorc. So, and it fits the theme, of course. Infused, of course, because we're running Torx Pact. If you're running Torx Pact, you kind of want to use infused as your trait on the weapons, especially when the enchant is important, and it is in this case. So yeah, that's why we're going for this. So that's the gear, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the skills. We got the crystal fragments, of course. This is like the hardest hitting skill, one of the hardest hitting skills on this build. It procs just by casting other skills. Every time you get a free proc, you just throw it in there, mix it in. You can hard cast this. A lot of people are joking about hard casting fragments. There's nothing wrong. Let me tell you this. There's nothing wrong about hard casting a fragment. If you are opening up on a target, you can always hard cast a fragment. As like a beginner skill, as like an opener skill, it's not too bad. If you know what you're doing, and you know that the hard casted fragment could give you an advantage, that's always nice, And the nice thing is you can do a hard casted fragment into like an Endless Fury, and the Endless Fury could proc the fragment. So you basically have like 2 fragments within like 1.5 seconds. You do a hard casted fragment, you throw that, immediately cast an Endless Fury, it procs another fragment, and you throw that one as well. That's a lot of pressure. So nothing wrong with hard casting. Don't do it while you're taking damage, though. You don't want to open yourself up to incoming damage. So the next one is, of course, Endless Fury. This is our pre-execute, basically. You can put this on a target. It stays on for a couple seconds, and when the target falls below the threshold, which is 20%, it's going to explode and do a lot of damage. So that's pretty nice. That's all we use it for. It's pretty cheap skill, so you can spam this on over a distance. If you really want to proc the fragment, for example, you can spam this. Outside of that, just an execute, really. The next one is Elemental Weapon. This is basically, when you get close to a target, you want to use this as your spammable. You cast it, you light attack, you cast it, you light attack. Takes a little bit of practice to get used to. Can be a little clunky, but it hits decently hard. It procs all the conditions on your target, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool skill. It gives the Sorc kind of like a different feel. When you get really close, maybe you stun your target and then you go in with the elemental weapon. I like this a lot. The next one is Streak. This is, of course, our mobility skill. You can just teleport a couple meters ahead, or you can use it offensively to stun a target. I really like this for like combos. You will see the combos in the PvP footage. So a thing that I usually do is like I put the mines down around the feet of my target, and then I streak through them so that they have to break free from the streak, and then they usually roll because people panic roll, and then they roll through my mines, and then they're like rooted again, and they have to break free from that. And it's just you just stack some effects on people, which is pretty nice. And it deals a decent amount of damage. So sometimes I get like killing blows with streak because it's actually a really good skill. The next skill is, of course, I just said it, the mines, the Daedric Tomb here. This is the morph that puts the 3 mines down. You can aim this, and that the reason I went for this is because I'm not really using them defensively. Normally, a Sorc just stands in the mines. That's why they chose the 5 mines. They have an arming time though. It takes like 2 seconds for the mines to arm, and Sorcs just hide in their mines. That's not how I'm using this. This is meant to be used offensively. Of course, you see a target, you put the mines around their feet. So if they want to get out of the mines, they have to hit at least one of them. Some people kind of manage to hit all 3 of them. Don't ask me how. Some people just do it. So the way you would engage is you would put on a curse, you would put the mines down, and then streak through the target immediately. You would go in for the elemental weapon light attack thingy. If the target falls below the threshold, you can do the execute. So that's basically the kind of combo you want to do on this build. And yeah, I like it. It feels great. It definitely feels great. So I love the play with the mines. They're really expensive though, so you gotta be careful. The ultimate on the front bar is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I've chosen this one because I wanted a cheap ultimate. I wanted something that's cheap and melee. You could use other ultimates if you want, but I think this is like the one that feels the best to me. Unfortunately, Dawnbreaker has a cast time. No one likes this, Zenimax. No one likes the cast times. Please remove it. So yeah, this can be a little tricky. You can be interrupted while casting this, but it's melee range. It hits decently hard. It adds a dot. It knocks everybody down. So I love this. I really love this. It feels good to me. So yeah, I would say this is the best choice. Let's look at the back bar here. We got Dark Conversion. This is, of course, one of our heals. This is our main sustain mechanic. Together with the 2k Magicka regen that we have, this actually offers a lot of sustain. Like, it's not even funny how much it offers. It also gives you like roughly 200 regen with the recovery ticks here that you get from it. So it's such a powerful skill. Really, really nice. The next one is Haunting Curse. This, of course, is you want to open up with this. You want to put this on because the curse takes 3.5 seconds to explode. So you put the curse on and you get ready to combo. You put all the things down. Like I said, curse, mines, streak through, turn around, Dawnbreaker, and do your thing. That's basically the combo you want to do. That's a lot of damage you can stack, and a lot of people can't handle that, to be quite honest here. And yeah, just cool skill. I like it. It feels good in the melee kind of play style. So yeah. The next one is Healing Ward. This, people laugh about this, when I'm using Healing Ward because it's not a real shield, it's not a real heal. Why are you using this? Because I only have this one slot left. And I need 2 things. I need some healing, and I need a shield. So what do? You put Healing Ward on because you get a shield and you get a healing. Why do we need a shield? Because we run the Marauder's Haste. Marauder's Haste needs a shield. So that's why we have that. We cast this one, even when we're not taking damage, just to proc the movement speed. And when we take damage, putting this on is actually pretty nice. The healing is not too shabby, I gotta say. So this definitely saved me a lot of times. But you don't want to rely on this for your heals, because you have the critical surge. So one thing you can do is, if you have your critical surge up, you can just streak through somebody or through multiple people. Streaking through multiple people almost guarantees you a crit and heals you when you have the crit surge up. So that's always really nice. And if possible, streak behind cover, do the dark deal, the dark conversion here to get some health back. And yeah, that's how you basically heal. One other thing is you can hit people with a crystal fragment, because this passive here, the blood magic. So if you hit somebody with the mines or the crystal fragments, it's actually going to heal you. So if you need heals and you got a fragment procced, pop that baby. Pop it. Get the heals. It's really important that you know where your heals are coming from, And if someone rolls through your entire mines, you get a lot of healing, That's pretty nice. So yeah, definitely cool. That's why we use this shield. Basically, let me demonstrate this. This is our normal speed here. If I pop the shield, we get faster. We pop this bad boy, we got faster, and then we run, and all of a sudden, you're really fast on a build. You just get a lot of speed out of it. So that's what I like, because this allows you to get close to a target, hit the target, get out of there real fast, and the movement speed definitely helps with the melee playstyle, because you need to be mobile. You'll notice that. So yeah, the next skill is Boundless Storm. You just saw that. That's basically our armor buff and our speed buff. Only lasts for 4 seconds, but it's not that expensive, so you can recast it every 4 seconds. Outside of that, deals a little bit of damage, which is nice because this also can proc the critical surge. And speaking of critical surge, this is our last skill. It gives you your major sorcery buff, and it heals you when you crit. So that's pretty cool. Potentially, this allows you to stay offensive for longer because you can get heals while being offensive. So, everybody loves it. And as the ultimate, we're using Panacea here. You can pick whatever morph you want. I usually would say, Light's Champion for more damage, Life Giver for more heals. Whatever you want. I don't really have a favorite. Depends on what kind of situations you want to use it in, I would say. So if you find yourself in situations where you really have to pop this to survive, Life Giver probably the best choice, because it really makes sure that you won't die. You can use this, even if you're not really if you don't really need the healing, you can use this offensively. You can pop this, and all your skills are going to do 15% more damage when you crit. So that's pretty decent. Since our crit rate is not too terribly high on this build, I don't know, I would probably tend to do the Life Giver or something. But in the end, it doesn't matter. You pick the one that you like the best, okay? So, and you could potentially even pick a different ultimate. If you feel like you don't need the panic heal, you can put something else on that you find cool, right? Okay, let's move on to the champion points here. In the red tree, 51 Ironclad, 51 Resistant, 37 Hardy, and 37 Elemental Defender. 51 in Bastion because we're using the shield. Make it a little bigger. It's not a huge shield, so this is not doing like a ton, but it helps. Having the extra 19%, definitely not bad. And then 43 in Quick Recovery. In the green tree, 37 Warlord, 19 Sprinter, 22 Mooncav, 56 Arcanist, 43 Tenacity, 56 in Tumbling, and 37 in Shadow Ward. We're dodging a lot on this build, so having the reduced dodge roll is pretty important. We're not blocking much, so only 15% here. In the blue tree, we got 56 in Elfborn, 56 Elemental Defender, and 77 in Spell Erosion. We're running 81 Master at Arms, and of course nothing here because, you know, Magicka build. That's basically the CP, ladies and gentlemen. I'll leave you with a little bit of PvP footage so you can see the build in action. I hope you give this a try because honestly, this build is so much fun to play. It's like one of the funnest builds I've ever played. Something about the speed and the aggressive melee playstyle that really does it for me. So yeah, enjoy the PvP footage, everybody. I hope you like the build. I hope you give it a try. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with another video soon. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. See you next time.